All right, here's the deal. I'm on. All right, here's the deal. I'm on a search for the most imperfect, perfect cinema glass. See how these see how I'm getting this like weird light streaking, and you got some like crazy bokeh behind me. If I can get this just right, there we go. So right now I've got a 50 millimeter adapted vintage lens on an APS-C X-M5 Fujifilm. So that's why I'm so close. But yeah, essentially I'm looking for lenses that do a lot of this kind of stuff. Why? Because I think it adds a lot of interesting character to my images, and I only have 50 millimeters right now for the most part. I don't have a ton of like 35. That's why I'm shooting so wide on this. And I've been using those more on my like Sony glass, and I just love the image they can create and like the character that they give. I feel like we're so focused on like, oh, it's got to be like the perfect image or whatever and perfectly sharp, and I'm like looking at these images, I'm like, I'm actually dragging the sharpness slider down. I'm like reducing sharpness. In Lightroom I'm like taking away clarity, stuff like that. So I find myself doing that a lot, so I'm actually on the hunt for lenses that are going to get that a little bit more kind of like out of the box, right? Like you slap it on your camera and it gives you that image already. So this lens is actually the Helios 56 millimeter. I think it's f2. No, wait. Shoot, this is the... Yeah, I think it's the 50... 44 doesn't make any sense. So it's probably the 50... That's probably the thread size. I actually don't know how to read this lens. Okay, so this is going to be... I'm just going to go with the f2 58 millimeter from Helios. And it's like a really old lens. It's not crystal sharp and clear all the time. Like, you get a lot of reduced contrast when you get the light coming in. But it's pretty sharp, honestly. Like, I have to keep adjusting the focus. But I'm actually really impressed. Just like looking at a camera screen far away from me, I'm impressed by the sharpness right now. So, yeah, I'm going to start kind of like mess around a little bit more. I don't know if any of this is going in the video, but yeah, I'll kind of show you guys what I'm thinking, why I really like the vintage glass. I'm going to be shooting a video, 21 days, another challenge. If you've watched this video, I'm going to be doing another challenge where basically I shoot one video per day, I record it, and I'm doing a horrible job today because it is already 8 p.m, and I have restarted this video probably 4 times today. So that's where we're at. So I'm doing a horrible job. I need to be editing like by 8 p.m. and I'm starting this video all over again. So I'll probably be going back in time, maybe. And the goal for this 21 days is storytelling. So yeah, I'm actually watching a video on it right now because I have to remind myself how it all worked with the 3-act structure. And there's other options too. So like there's the hero's journey. I'm trying to remember all of them. So as the 21 days unfolds, I will be teaching myself the story structure a little bit better. So that is the goal. But also the goal is to find lenses today, okay? So I have restarted. I haven't spent enough time trying to find lenses today. I'm going to use Claude. So AI is going to be a new thing in this channel, and you're going to have to accept it because AI is what I use to allow myself to go out and shoot film, shoot 16 millimeter, do stuff, hang out with family. So I use it to simplify my life and not to create more work for myself. So some people use AI to make more money and blah, 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 blah. I use it to free up more time to go do stuff that I love to do. That is kind of like my relationship with AI. We'll dive more into that as we go on with the 21-day challenge. But yeah, so today we're finding lenses, and I'm going to be looking for cinema glass with character that's like the FD glass. So we went camping last weekend, and I threw on some FD glass on my digital camera. I'm like, I love this glass. So it was the shallow depth of field plus the character it added. So we got cool bokeh, stuff like that. You guys will see it in the video. I'll just throw it in as I see necessary. So that's what we're looking for. So now, okay, so since I've started shooting, I've actually used this lens that's on my camera right now, which is the Sigma 24-70, like the first edition. I think they have another edition now. So this has kind of been my primary lens since I first started shooting. any kind of video work. Back when I had like an 8-bit camera, 8-bit color camera for weddings. So that was back in, 2020. And it's been a really good lens. It has a bunch of dust in it now. It doesn't really affect the quality too much. Maybe if like you change your aperture significantly, so you're stopping down quite a bit, you got some issues. But there's just something about the character you get out of the older glass, and something I've been striving for cinema glass. Like I want that character that you get in that older glass, but in cinema glass. I would love the autofocus for stuff like this. But when I'm shooting a wedding, typically I think I'm finding that I like to really have. Oh, there goes my child. I like to have a glass that is manual focus, because then I can tell exactly what to focus on. Yeah, this room's a mess. I know there's a whole leak there. Had to fix that. Finally fixed it over the winter. And then when you have kids, rooms become messes. This is our cleanest room probably right now because of that little one behind me. So yeah, I mean, I think maybe I'm getting more sentimental because of kids and whatnot, but I'm not sure. So yeah, I mean, the character is what I'm looking for in glass. Like, this is almost too clean. It's very sharp and like doesn't get a whole lot of light leaks. Actually, the Sigmas do get a little bit of light leaks, but like if I'm using like my G Master stuff, it's like they really try to reduce the light leaks and have coatings like that. Are you on camera? Are they fighting? What I had Claude do is I initially had to be like, hey, we're looking for this glass, so it needs to be like FT glass, blah, 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 blah. And I told it like the output, I was like, I want this kind of output, I want it to look like, we'll dive into AI in a whole nother video. I could talk for hours about it. But I was like, I want it like this, and I want this list, and it did a horrible job. They like messed some things up, and then normally I have it go back and like verify it. I'm like, hey, double check pretend like you didn't just make this list, double check it, blah, blah, blah. So that's what I will probably get around to eventually. And anyways, I also was like, okay, now I gotta like figure out what I'm gonna do with the video. How are we gonna compare these lenses so it's even, right? How are we gonna compare these lenses so that it all lines up? And how am I gonna do this quickly because it's already 8:02 now? I've been talking for 10 minutes. All right, I have Claude start working on that while, I learn about storytelling a little bit better. Hopefully I'm off to a good start. This is the inciting incidents, right? And then this should only be about 25% of the video, but I've already screwed that up. So, and then 50% of the video is going to be the rising action, right? I think so. And the kind of where the plot kind of sits. And then you've got the resolution or whatever at the end, right? Another 25%. That's what I'm getting. This is from Studio Binder, by the way. I do like Studio Binder. They, for like cinema stuff and like storytelling and stuff about movies and stuff. So, they make some good videos and some I'm like meh, but like a lot of really good videos. This is I think one of them. So we're gonna watch this. Hopefully tell a better story and not ramble so long. It's already been 6 minutes of just me rambling. Okay, so yeah, something about our lenses nowadays is just like too perfect, and there's no character to it anymore. It's almost like sharper than the human eye. It's kind of how I feel like. It's like you almost can't get any sharper because your eye won't even pick it up anymore. And that's kind of the same thing with like 8K, like 8K versus 4K. I don't see that much of a difference. I mean, 6K, I would say at least 6K to 8K. You're not seeing much of a jump from 6K to 8K. I mean, a lot of these cameras nowadays are shooting 6K. Like, what's the point? Like, what do you think, Keats? Okay, so these are my FD glass. Well, I have some more besides this, but these are two like 15 millimeters. This is like an older one. So this is I think it's SSC version, and this is my favorite one. This is a little bit newer version. It's a 50 millimeter and it stops down to f1.4. So these are this is the glass I've been falling in love with. However, I want something a little bit more professional for video. So for photo, those are great. For video though, I need something that's gonna be, I'm gonna be able to pull focus a lot easier. With this, you can still pull focus, and it actually has pretty good focus pulling, but I need that, like the perfection of something like this. So this is the only cinema glass I own. It's a Rokinon garbage, if you ask me. I'm not a huge fan of Samyang / Rokinon, which is basically the same company now. Rokinon bought out Samyang. They have horrible customer service, by the way. I had to get a lens repaired that was brand new. I bought it and it was already broken. And then they just, they basically would not repair it. They refused. So there's a whole ordeal with that. So I'm not a proponent of Samyang and Rokinon anymore. So, but what I loved about this lens is I don't use it a ton on my Sony anymore. It's an 85 millimeter, and I used it a ton on the Pocket 4K, but I adapted it with a speed booster. So it's an EF mount. So I have to actually adapt it with my Sigma adapter from my Sony. And I go into this guy, and I'll show you guys what these guys both look like. But basically, I pop this guy on right here, like that. And then I can use my Sony. But then my Blackmagics with speed booster, and it made this amazing. It was like an F9 basically equivalent, or T9 equivalent, with a speed booster on it, according to my Blackmagic, and it was really shallow. I could probably find some of that footage and attach it as well. But yeah, so this guy is the only cinema glass I currently have, and that's my total experience, and they're one of the cheaper brands for sure, like really cheap. But again, I'm looking for character, so I'll show you guys some of the character you get out of this lens, which is pretty cool. Speed booster, you got even more character, which I was a huge fan of. So you get a ton of fringing with this lens. I'm gonna tell you that right off the bat, since I'm very familiar with this lens. And then yeah, these FD lenses are kind of what started me on looking at all this stuff now. These FD, using these on a camping trip last week. So yeah, let's kind of dive in and let's actually take a look at these lenses attached to my camera. I will probably attach the ND that's on here because it's super bright out right now. And I'm gonna shine it into the sun a little bit so you guys can kind of get an idea. So first we're gonna try this lens and just shine it in the sun, and then we're gonna try these lenses and see the difference. Okay, so all right, so as predicted, the light changed on us. So I'll redo this whole thing again. You guys probably want to see the other one. But yeah, I'll basically keep this lens attached, throw the ND on this for next time, and then I've got this guy already adapted. I have to run down and get an adapter, and this one went away, and we got a while with clouds. So this is kind of the funky FD lens, the step up rings from my ND. And then this one I'll have one step up ring on too. And this is gonna be 85, 50, different focal lengths, so keep that in mind. I'll probably do it with 50 when I come back with this one. So, stupid sun, and it come in, and or stupid clouds. But yeah, all right, well, let's come back out. It's about to rain, I think, which is a really good thing. We've had a lot of smoke and fires in Colorado, so. Okay, so this is the regular lens, the art lens from Sigma. I'm gonna try to match exposure a little bit, but obviously aperture is gonna be a little bit different each of the lenses. So, why is because I want to use the lowest aperture they stop down to, because it gives the most unique flares in my opinion. I mean, you can get different flares if you change, like if I change real quick. Because obviously this is a 50 millimeter, so a little bit different, but look at this. Interesting bokeh. This has a lot more dreamy look too. It's just a lower aperture though, right? So, and this is not we're not doing like a scientific review because I feel like that's for another day. Like, I will do that another day. But you're seeing those like to the left of my hand. Okay, so of course the newer brand of step-up rings, they don't have the right size. I can never, it always drives me crazy because they're missing like one, I think it's like a 50 millimeter one. It's like 52 and then goes like 48 or something like that. And it's like a lot of older lenses are that step-up ring. So I have these K&F concept step-up rings, but I can't find them anywhere. And I need them right now. Keita likes to play with them, so they might be somewhere in this office. Like, you guys are about to see how dirty this is. Like, this is my floor of my office. There's like a brochure right here. And yeah, it's just a mess in here because Keita's always grabbing everything. And yeah, it's a project. Everything's a struggle. Where would they be? Where would they be? Okay, we're gonna get up. Teleprompter guy. I am in the process of cleaning all this. In the process. It's a process. Everything's a process with her. She's a handful. This is normally where I keep all my lens stuff. What is this? Extension tube? Okay. I got a lot of adapters in here. Not enough, apparently, because I don't have a M42 for my Sony, which I was looking for recently. So I'll be getting those. I probably should get more step rings, because apparently I lose them all the time. I was going to try out the other FD lens, but I think you guys get what I'm saying. I might just hold the filter up to that one, and we'll go ahead. That's what we're going to do for now, until I can figure out where these things are. Again, this is not super scientific, or not super, like, I'm not trying to be like finite with this video. I'm just trying to show you guys the character and why I want to go with the cinema glass, like why the cinema glass is and what I'm looking for in the cinema glass. All right, later. Focus. All right, get some purple blobs. Oh, you know why I was getting that side flare? I forgot an ND filter on. Of course, you're not gonna get side flare with ND filter on the lens, because that blocks some of the side flare, because the lens would pick it up because it has a little bit of rounding to it. So it's only with the... Alright, so I don't know how I feel about this one here. I think I like my other one better. This one's pretty cool though, it has some cool characteristics. But that's regardless. So what I'm looking for is basically a lens that will be similar to these. I just want character in it. So that's what I want for like a cinema lens, would be character within the lens. So it'd be interesting, right? Like anybody nowadays can get a fairly nice image out of a phone, but it's like using the little light leaks and stuff, and then like some of the halation and like I think it's not really halation, but some of those flares, and then I just like how the highlights get rendered better too on these too. Like there's a little different to the highlights kind of create a flare, like a flare into the highlights. Does that make sense? So let's get some of that backlit. There we go. Woo, just like put a bunch of sun on my eyes from the lens. This is what my subjects feel like. They're just getting my lens light. Alright, so that's what we're kind of looking for with the cinema glass. It's like character in the lens, some warmth. Ideally too, because I'm shooting weddings, so we want character and warmth. I do a lot of like this kind of stuff, right? So like I like to see when we're stopped down, like those kind of like star patterns for the sun a little bit. I want some like light leaks to come across like this, and the light leaks, the color will matter a lot too. So I don't want like green blob. I'm not a huge fan of the green. But I want some like red, probably some red, and the purple's not bad. Some green can be mixed in, but we're looking for a good aesthetics, and like the bokeh too is gonna be huge. So like how smooth is the bokeh? So I think that's one difference that the cinema lens is gonna have, is that it's gonna be hopefully a little bit more like what we call buttery, right? So like the smooth bokeh instead of like the very swirly, harsh bokeh. This one, I'm not seeing the aperture blades like my other one though. So my other one, you're actually gonna, if you stop all the way down, my other FT lens, you actually, 16, you actually see the aperture blades when you're pointing directly in the sun. So I don't see it right now on the camera screen, but also it's hard to see out here right now. So yeah, we'll check this out in post. I almost forgot about the real Canon lens. This guy's an 85, so a lot more compression. And it has a very, like, I can't even get, like if I stick my hand out, it won't even focus on it. So this is my actual cinema glass, and we'll just mess around a little bit here. Focus on that. There we go, right there. Getting some flaring. Not really a whole lot of color though in the flare. Stop down. See how fast I can stop down though? I love that about cinema glass. They call it veiling flare, which I'm kind of digging now. I don't know. On the bokeh, whichever they want. Oop, there's some red. I like that. Make it bigger, smaller. Yeah, make it smaller so you can see it better. Oop, some rainbow. I think this one does a lot of green though, which I don't really like. Ooh, look at that. Yeah, that's cool. Honestly, not too bad, even though I don't like Rogan on, as I was saying earlier. Alright. Alright, you see it's getting dark. It is basically 9 right now, so I'm still working on it, but I did get the list going. So we got the list. Welcome back. I hope you guys kind of know what I'm looking for now after all that video footage of today. I filmed a lot more than that today, but yeah, so here is where we're at. All right, it's crazy late, and I do not have the time to be going through all these one by one. I just started listening now. I'm like, this is gonna take forever, and then I realized like some of the stuff on the list is kind of like iffy. I'm like, well, is it yes or no? And it just like gave me like these weird facts. So not really impressed. Maybe I should have used a more complicated model of Claude. I used Sonnet, so that could be some of the reasons why. So I'm gonna kind of go over the winner of each category, okay? And then we'll kind of go from there, and then kind of go like what lenses I probably want to look into more, and which ones I'm gonna probably end up getting to review. If you guys have opinions, leave them in the comments below. But here we go. Okay. Man, so I ran out of storage on this guy because I was just kind of listing off things about the lenses, and I'm like, I'm done. This is not gonna work today. So here's what we're doing now. I'm gonna drop the list below in the description, okay? Here is what I found on the lenses. Here's like a gist, okay? The rough estimate. So the IRIX or whatever, that lens seemed a little bit interesting. The most interesting one, which I was surprised by because I thought it was the cheapest, most absolute garbage lenses, for what we're looking for, was the SLR Magic ones. They had like a really low T-stop. They had nice warm colors, some flares, maybe some vignetting, which is like a trade-off. The DZO, besides the aperture being so high, were interesting as well. There was some other weirdness about them, but they're like more focused on quality, and they use like an amber coating, which is very interesting. The DZO film ones, which is like the Vespid Retro or something, Vespid Retro guys were interesting, but I think they're a little bit more pricey. Where I think these other ones are like almost what we're looking for. That's SLR Magic, but way cheaper. So I think I'll go that direction. The rest of the lenses didn't seem to really stick out. Like Viltrox was only micro 4/3, which is absurd. That was just like craziness. And then the 7 Artisans was only APS-C, which I'm like, okay, well I'm using a full frame camera right now, so that's kind of ruling itself out. The TT Artisans did seem interesting though, because you have like a switch from between like smooth bokehs or like softens, even like it's not as sharp even, which I'm fine with. I actually end up lowering sharpness a lot. So in post, because I'm like, this is way too sharp. This is like I like film. Like the film's not as sharp. And even then I'm like, it doesn't have to be perfect, right? I don't know. So that's kind of where I was at. And then, so I think my favorites so far are the DZO film, or the Vespid retros, the SLR Magic ones, and I think I'm gonna look for their previous model, which is gonna be a little more vintagey and like have some like more quirks, and it's gonna be a little cheaper. And I might also look at their new model too, though, and try that out. So we got the Erix, I don't even know if I'm saying that right. The TTR's in, the retro from DZO Films, and then Vespid, whatever, and then the SLR Magic, I don't remember, it's like something Prime, whatever. Those are all about 50, right in the 50 millimeter range. I think the Erix ones are like 45 millimeters. So that's what that's what I'm gonna be checking out, okay? So those lenses, I'm gonna do some more research on them. I'm gonna try to get my hands on some of those, and then we'll kind of look at those throughout. It is like way late, by the way. It is like 9:21, and now I'm gonna upload the footage off this guy, off this camera, and start editing. And I hate it when they do this. So, see that? Like, what are we doing, people? Like, this should not be a thing anymore. Like, the fact that I have to use a coin, which I don't have coins on me ever. Like, nobody ever has coins now. And then, like, I use keys a lot of times. Here, I'm gonna use this guy. I had a quarter somewhere around here, and I lost it. You know, I keep losing my quarters. Oh, is that it right there? Nope, that's not it. I'm using this guy. I hate it when tripod plates do that. Just make one that you can like grab with your fingers and turn it off like quickly. Like I want to be quick about it. This is my little Gorilla Pod. And then you have to take this off to get into this stupid SD card slot that's in that battery case right there. It's with the battery. And that's where the battery's housed. So everything about this situation, like this camera should have put the quarter mount further down, and then the tripod was it's a compact camera, and it's a compact little tripod guy, so I guess that's probably the reason why. But they could have thought that a little bit more if you ask me. All right, let's get this done. I feel like I kind of failed, but also ran out of time and was just kind of rushed. And kind of decided I was going to do the story thing like midway through the video, so I was like, well, shoot, I'm a little bit off now. And yeah, things just got busy today and just couldn't get around to it, and didn't get everything I wanted to, not nearly everything I wanted to get done today. And now I'm dreading editing how many clips I have and all that, and it's like already 9:30, so I got to edit everything. So I got to get like this process down. The first couple days might be a little bit rough, but as we kind of figure it out, I'm going to get a little bit better about this and hopefully have a better system going, and we'll be able to get these videos cranking out. So, and I can focus on the story. So the editing might not be as polished, but know that it's story driven. That's the focus, right? My gosh, it says about 15 minutes. I think I'm gonna go do something while I wait for this to offload. It was going pretty fast, and then it slowed down for some weird reason. Oh, because I'm offloading two separate videos. An old video and then the ones I shot today. Well, I stop shooting, and it's gonna take me forever to get this one off now too. Alright, yeah, I think I failed in the story though. I think I could improve on that. So hopefully tomorrow's a better storytelling day. Lens shopping tomorrow. We'll talk about more probably about FD lenses and kind of like some stuff like that. I don't know. We'll see what tomorrow's video is about. See ya. Make sure you guys subscribe if you're interested in seeing how this all unfolds. Hopefully I improve as we get going. So that's kind of the goal. So we're going to try to learn together, I guess.